Okay, you guys, it is I, your very own AMARU, and I'd like to welcome you to a brand new episode of Food and the Single Guy. Now, on this episode of Food and the Single Guy, I'm gonna make you an oven dish. I'm gonna make you a pasta bake. I'm gonna make you some Conchiglioni Rigati. Now, AMARU, would you mind elaborating? What in the heck did you just say? Oh, but of course I can, boo-boo. Listen up. So, conchiglioni in Italian means shells. So basically, what I'm gonna cook you are pasta shells. Now, in the package, they're this big, but when you bring them to a boil, when you cook them like you would regular pasta, they would double in size, mimicking somewhat those shells that you see at the beach. Now, in Caribbean English, there is a word, conch, and conch is just that shell, that gigantic seashell with the long tail at the end. I'm sure you're familiar with them. I'm going to insert a picture for you right now so you'd know what I'm talking about. So from Italian, conchiglie or conchiglioni, to Caribbean English, conch, I hope that I've been able to give you somewhat of a playful description as to the beauty of language. Now, as per me, I'm going to list all the ingredients for you in the information box below the episode. So without further ado, let us continue. Okay, you guys, and now for some of the ingredients for this delicious little pasta dish. Over here, we have the fresh basil, or basil, as they say in England. Over here, we have the shells, the Conchiglioni Rigati, and I love them. Over here, we have the mozzarella cheese. Over here, we have the Parmigiano Reggiano. Over here, we have the peeled tomatoes. Now, over here, I have a mix of black and green olives that I purchased at the Turkish supermarket. And last but not least, what we have here is the minced beef. Okay, you guys, so to a droplet of oil, I am going to add the minced beef. Now, alternatively, you can also use ground turkey or ground chicken. As soon as your minced beef has taken on some color, you're going to add the onion and the garlic, and of course you're going to give it a good stir. So next I'm going to add some black pepper. We're also going to add some salt. There we go. Next I'm going to add my olives. And after about a minute or so, we're going to add the tomatoes. Now, as you can see, the tomatoes have broken down almost completely, so you really don't have to chop them before adding them to the sauce. Next, we're going to add a droplet of water. Now, what I also like to add to mine is a little bit of cream, and this is just my own personal touch, okay? Because I like it. Just a little bit. There we go. And of course, we're gonna give it a good stir. Make sure to taste your sauce. If it needs more salt, if it needs more pepper, if it needs more whatever, make sure to add it, because nobody likes bland food. Alright? So next what we're going to do, we are going to cover this pan and we're going to allow the sauce to simmer on low heat for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, you guys, now let's have a look at our sauce. Ooh, baby. Yes! I'm fogging up the lens and everything. This is looking good. It is smelling good. Next, what we're gonna add is the fresh basil, just like so. And we're going to stir the chopped basil into the sauce. And next what we're gonna add are the pasta shells. And keep in mind, you guys, you don't want to overcook your pasta shells. As you can see, they're still very firm and very pliable. They have somewhat of a bite, and that is what you want, alright? Keep that in mind. because otherwise, if you overcook the pasta, they're gonna get soggy when you bake them in the oven, and as a result of that, they will not be able to pick up the flavor of the sauce. Alright? Alright. So next, we're going to coat the pasta with the sauce. Just like so. Baby, when I tell you, it smells absolutely delicious. Now, this in itself is a meal already, okay? You don't have to bake this in the oven if you don't want to, because this is good enough to eat right now. But we are going to bake these bad boys in the oven, because we're making a delicious little oven dish. So hence. So there you have it. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to turn off the heat. I'm going to cover the pan and I'm going to allow the basil to do its thing. Okay? Now you guys, while your oven is preheating, you will get one of your most beautiful casserole dishes and you will lightly grease it with a droplet of olive oil. Just like so. There we go. Just a droplet of olive oil will do just fine. And a little bit on the sides also. So next what we're going to do, we're going to create a couple of layers of the pasta and the cheese. Okay, we're going to start with a layer of the pasta. So next, we're going to add some of the Parmigiano Reggiano and some of the mozzarella. There we go. And next, we're going to continue with another layer of the pasta. And you've guessed it, we're going to continue with another layer of the cheese. And you want to be generous with the cheese, okay? But at the same time, don't overeat. Because when you eat too much cheese, you're going to get constipated. And that is not a good feeling. Alright? Alright. Now, doesn't this look gorgeous? Oh, but it does. So next what we're going to do, we're going to bake this bad boy in the oven for about 45 minutes at 180 degrees C. And as soon as the cheese takes on some color, you're almost certain that your dish is ready. Of course, I'm going to dazzle you with the final presentation in the next clip. Alright, you guys, our dish is ready. I just took it out of the oven. Doesn't it look gorgeous? Oh, but it does. So next what we're going to do, we're simply going to allow this to rest for about 15 to 20 minutes before cutting into it. We're going to allow the cheese to solidify a little bit, and that will make for beautiful portions. You know, when you cut into it, you will get nice even squares. That is why you allow this to rest for about 15 to 20 minutes, possibly even longer. All right? And as I said earlier, when it's all done, I'm going to hopefully dazzle you with the final presentation. And speaking of the final presentation, here we go. And doesn't it look yummy? And boo-boo, let me tell you, it was yummy too. Oh yes! Now you may have noticed that mine has somewhat of a crust because that's the way I like it. But if you like yours to be a little stringy, if you like stringy cheese, which I don't, make sure to bake this anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes, upon which you will end up with a nice casserole dish with that stringy texture. You know, like when you eat it and it's stringy and everything. Some people like that, I don't. So that is why I allowed mine to cook a little longer, because that's the way I like it. Alright? Alright. Now, if you decide to try to make this, let me know how it turned out, because I'm genuinely always interested in hearing from you. In the meantime, you all be well, take care, happy cooking, happy eating, don't add crazy to the craziness, and I will see you when I see you. Have a good one, you guys. Bye-bye!